Now, a firewall can be either software or hardware. It is a system that is designed to prevent unauthorized access from entering a private network by filtering the information that comes in from the internet. It blocks unwanted traffic and permits wanted traffic. So basically, it filters the incoming network data packets and determines by its access rules if it is allowed to enter the network. In today's high-tech world, a firewall is essential to every business to keep their network safe. And one way that a firewall controls the flow of traffic coming into and out of a network is through its Access Control List, or ACL. And the ACL is a list of rules on what can access the network. It either allows or denies permission. So as an example, here we have a very simplified ACL with a list of IP addresses that have been allowed or denied on this firewall. So if this IP address tried to get into this network, the firewall will deny it because of the rules that are set in the ACL. But these other IP addresses are granted access because the ACL allows them. Most firewalls come with a default rule of implicit deny. And what that basically means is that the firewall will only allow traffic to enter the network that the ACL specifically says that it will allow. So as an example, if your ACL only has one rule, and let's say that that rule has allowed port number 80, which is web pages, then that means that you'll be allowed to access web pages on your network, but nothing else. You won't be able to use any FTP, HTTPS, or incoming POP or IMAP email because the firewall has implicitly denied those ports. So the only way to access those services is you have to specifically allow them by granting them access in the ACL. So for example, we'll go ahead and add port 25 and port 110 and give those ports access to the network. And now those ports, along with their respective service, are able to go through the firewall, but everything else is implicitly denied. Firewalls come in different types, and one type is called a host-based firewall. And this is a software firewall. This is the kind of firewall that is installed on a computer, and it protects that computer only and nothing else. For example, later versions of Microsoft operating systems come prepackaged with a host-based firewall, as you can see here. You can turn the firewall on or off if you want, and you can also create exceptions to the firewall based on the application name on the Exceptions tab. And of course, you can always purchase a third-party firewall and install it on your computer. Another type of firewall is called a network-based firewall. And this is the kind that is shown here. A network-based firewall is a combination of hardware and software, and it operates at the network layer. It is placed between a private network and the internet. And unlike a host-based firewall, where it only protects its own computer, a network-based firewall protects an entire network. And it does this through management rules that is applied to the entire network so that any harmful activity can be stopped before it reaches the computers. Firewalls also inspect traffic in a couple of different ways, and one way is called stateful. A stateful firewall monitors all the connections and data streams that are passing through and keeps a record of it. It uses the connection information that comes from the applications and previous sessions and factors that in allowing or denying the flow of data packets. It does a thorough job of protecting a network dynamically. A stateless firewall, on the other hand, does not do a thorough job as a stateful firewall does. A stateless firewall uses an access control list to allow or deny traffic. It does not thoroughly inspect a data packet. It only looks into the header portion of the data packet, and it does not keep a record of previous data packets. Content filtering is a technology that is commonly used in email, and as its name implies, it filters data based on their content and not on the source. This type of filter is commonly used to filter email spam. And another type of filter is called signature identification, and this is used to detect viruses that have a well-known behavior pattern. Certain viruses and malware have a common behavior, and firewalls that use signature identification are programmed to spot this behavior. And once it's spotted, it takes action to block the intruder.